Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Tonight, we're talking about Jack and Lilly Sullivan, who vanished from their Pictou County, Nova Scotia home on May 2nd, 2025. Since then, there's been no sighting of Jack or Lilly. And today, there was a little update in the news that we're going to talk about and about the timeline and things that was said way back when that now have been changed. A lot to talk about on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me stand. I've been whispered about and written off, judged by the gloss, not the cost. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is December 28th, 2025. It is currently 10:52 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for waiting out for me. I do appreciate it. I was having a lot of technical difficulties, and I'm usually my computer's hardwired in, but right now it's not. I'm on Wi-Fi. I don't know if the picture quality is going to be as good. I don't even know if this stream will last, but we're going to give it what we got. So good to see all of you. Thank you all so much for joining me. Before we get started, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up button, it's a little thing that makes a big difference And sharing the live out really helps as well. Gets as many people to see the missing faces of these children and of all the people that we cover. And it's just click that little link, share it out in your social media, and it does a lot of good. Good to see everyone in chat. Hello, Miss Joyous, Where the Wind Blows, Shelby, Andrea, Leslie, Preschool Granny, Shari, Scotia Leo, Lori Mann, Brandy, Always an Indie, Misty, Marianne, Andrea, Kelly Thompson, Lynn, LYS. Good to see you, my dear. Lady Gracious. Who else do we got? The other Sharon. Good to see you. YouTuber Misty Moonlight. The other Sharon. I think I said that, but Andrea. Good to see the other Sharon. Brandy and Indy. Powder Puff. Denise. Teresa. Everyone. Good to see everyone. Thank you all for joining me. Do appreciate you. Mallory Parker coming in 3 months. How you doing, girl? Good to see you. Thanks everybody for the prayers. I love you. We love you too, honey. You take care of yourself, you and yours, honey. Many, many prayers to you. Good to see you, hon. All right. Little update today from the global news that we're going to watch here, and then we're going to go over some other things. Is there an echo? Shouldn't be an echo, but let me just make sure. Nope, shouldn't be an echo. No echo, right? I just want to make sure. No echo. Okay, perfect. All right, sound fine. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you. Yes. Okay. All right, so let's get right to it. Oops, 1 second here. We're going to get right to it on what the global news said today. And without further ado, here we go.
More than 120 people are currently searching the woods behind me here near Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station, continuing the search for 2 children who went missing in the area on Friday morning.
There was, well over 100 people there at that time, right off the bat, the first weekend doing the searches.
We are going to keep searching. That's our job right now, and no one's stopping. We have lots of officers here on the scene that are parents themselves, and we can certainly feel for this family, and our priority is to bring these kids home safe.
The thing that strikes you most about Lansdowne Station and kind of that part of Nova Scotia when you go there are 2 things. One, it's very dense woods, very dense, thick woods. It's very remote. 2, there's no cell signal. So
there you go. It's very dense forest. It's very remote, and there's no cell phone signal. That right there, in my opinion, starts it out, right? It's very remote, not a lot of people, which means an abduction, or even, a crime of another is less likely to begin with, right? It's remote, so that's obviously why. Not a lot of cell phone coverage. Well, correct, which really helps the person or persons that may have committed a crime, right? Sounds like a perfect scene for a crime. Indeed. And it's just not likely, in my opinion, at all, that those kids, Jack and Lilly Sullivan, 4 and 6, got out anywhere. Hey, Jamie.
communications in the traditional sense are limited. You have to find alternatives.
We knew a presser was coming up, and that morning driving down, I thought it's one of 2 things. They found something, which will be a huge deal, or they're calling off the search.
As of today, May 7th, the active search efforts to locate Lilly and Jack will be scaled back.
We asked the question, what are the chances that these kids are alive? And Staff Sergeant Robert McCammon kind of gave us the first inkling that this isn't going to end how we want it to.
Based on the experts and the review of the facts, the inclement weather, the time frames, and their age, the likelihood that they're alive right now is very low.
It's rare, I think, to see a parent go through losing their children. And when it happens, a lot of the time they're in shock. And Daniel was no different than that.
So the head of the helicopter.
I think Daniel was in shock of how big this got very quickly. I think he was in shock of that, but more importantly, I think it was just the math speaking, in my opinion.
Helicopters and head of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can. Just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in a military outfit said I could go back into the woods.
I felt like it was important to ask Mr. Martel if he had anything to do with the disappearance of Lilly and Jack. I asked it outright.
I 100% did not. And I will hold that till my last day on this planet.
They have never treated it as a criminal investigation, although their major crimes unit is involved, which is very interesting. The RCMP doesn't really explain why, but I think that
can we listen to that part real quick again?
they have never treated it as a criminal investigation, although their major crimes unit is involved, which is very interesting.
They have not, they have treated it as a missing persons case, although major crime unit is involved. What do you think that means? What do you think that means? In my opinion, I believe they're keeping it on the DL, the down low. And remember, we only have so much info, right? We only have so much info. They're not going to put out any part of info that is going to jeopardize Jack and Lily's case. If they put out info, that means they're already well past whatever it is in those documents, in my opinion. Absolutely, TJ's mom. Yep. Yep, I do. Hey, Debbie. Good to see you, Misty.
RCMP doesn't really explain why, and I think that leads the public to be very suspicious as well.
It had blown up at that point, and it wasn't just taking our information, it was twisting lies on Facebook. These groups were popping up about the Sullivan siblings, and there's still lots of them out there.
With respect to the spread of misinformation, inaccurate information, and speculation, I just want to say that's harmful. It's harmful to the families and communities who are trying to work their way through.
You know what else is very harmful? I agree. A lot of things online is very harmful to the cases and stuff, particularly those channels, those AI channels that'll say that, for instance, Jack and Lilly are found when they're not. It'll put like 5 minutes ago, Jack and Lilly found, when there's nothing truth in it whatsoever. I think those are very harmful. But exactly what Shelby said. You know what else is very harmful to an investigation? A parent or a step parent that lies like a rug. That's what's harmful.
A traumatic event.
And I think if you have a vacuum of information, unfortunately, the internet will fill it. That creates two issues. One, journalists have to sift through that information and find out how much of it is relevant or not. And so do investigators, who are obviously looking for legitimate tips and information.
I saw a community severely impacted by this disappearance. I saw people incredibly moved, even people who hadn't known them.
Absolutely miserable. It's a nightmare that I wish we could just wake up from, and I wouldn't wish this on anybody.
It was poignant.
I think it's also harmful to not hold the RCMP's feet to the fire when it comes to, especially for the Canadians, to hold the RCMP accountable for your people, right? Jack and Lilly, your community, all of that. And that's what they have been doing nonstop. The Canadians, Nova Scotians, and really outside of Canada, but the RCMP isn't ours, right? Outside of Canada. So, but they've really been asking the questions, and we have to ask people in higher positions questions to keep them accountable and to keep a healthy pressure on them that no, we're not going to stop until Jack and Lilly is found and justice is served. Whether that is, tomorrow, tonight, 5 years from now, or longer. I'm nearly 5 years into Summer Wells' case. Not going anywhere.
That they just wanted Jack and Lilly home. They have this hope that they're still alive, that they can come home and celebrate their birthdays and give them toys and love. And they had to celebrate Jack's birthday without him.
It's garnered national and international attention. I never expected, in my wildest dreams, the first day going out there to cover this search for just 2 missing children to see how it have grown into what it is now.
I think I'm left with the same questions as everyone else in this case. Like, what happened to them? We know that they disappeared, but we don't know how. The assumption is that they're dead. Will we ever get answers to what happened to them?
Gypsy. Too many out there, Gypsy. Too many out there. Can't do that. So there we have it. That's they're keeping it in the news and all of that, which is good. The RCMP officer, one of the guys, came out recently and said this is a very mysterious case. And it is, but it's not at the same time. Again, parents don't lie on their missing children. They just don't. They don't continually give off, different information about what happened that day. Case in point, let me see if I can find it. One thing, let me see here. I've got it here somewhere. On, when was this? May 6th, 2025. I'm going to show you the actual article of this. This is from the Albertan, the Canadian Press. And again, May 6th, 2025. Daniel, he says, quote, okay, hold on one second. The stepfather of 2 young children reported missing from their Royal Nova Scotia home on Friday says he's hopeful that 6-year-old Lilly Sullivan, 4-year-old Jack Sullivan will be found safe after he met Tuesday morning with the RCMP. Quote, "It's all I've got after 5 long days," end quote, Martel said immediately after the RCMP briefing inside a command post near his home in the community of Lansdowne Station. Quote, "They're doing all they can. They have helicopters up there now. They have 100 searchers and still nothing," end quote, Mr. Martel says. Martel confirmed on Monday night, so that was when was that? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So 3 days after Jack and Lilly vanished, that they showed him shirts and blankets and water bottles found during the search near Gairloch Road, but he said none of them items belong to either child. Mm, isn't that interesting? Oh God, Tammy, do you got it too? Everybody's had the flu. I'm so sorry. Isn't that something? Oh, you're fine, Alicia. Good to see you, honey. Yeah. Remember? Daniel lied and was the only one. See, Malaya didn't lie about that being Lily's blanket, right? But he did. He did. And again, I ask you, why would he lie about what he says now is a planted blanket? But yet he is blaming people like Malaya's family for placing the blanket. Well, Malaya didn't lie. Malaya didn't lie about that. But one second. Okay. So that's the question, right? Malaya didn't lie about the blanket. Seems to me someone who would lie about such a thing might be the one that is, the one that planted it, in my opinion. Right? Okay. He said on Monday he was worried the children may have been abducted, but police said there is no evidence the children were taken, and the investigators are acting under the belief both kids wandered from their home. The RCMP said, quote, at this point, Lilly and Jack are still considered missing children. Right. Asking about concerns expressed by the stepfather that it was possible the children were abducted, McCann said, quote, police are pursuing all investigative avenues, and there are a variety of teams involved who are applying the tools and the skills and expertise needed to locate Jack and Lilly home. She declined to confirm if the RCMP major crime investigation unit had become involved, saying only that, quote, a variety of investigative teams were working the case. Quote, if different folks from different units have expertise or the skills or the tools needed, they've been called upon to support the investigation, she said. McCann said each of the drones were using forward-looking infrared radar, which can spot the heat signatures of humans. She said specially trained ground search teams combed through the heavily wooded area on Monday night. Right? Cindy Murray, Malia's mother, quote, we're hoping and praying for the best. That's it. For our babies to come home, quote, end quote, she said. Okay. Let me see here. Martell said that after the disappearance, the children's mother left to be with her family in another part of the province and has blocked him on social media. That's the smartest thing she could have done. That's truly the smartest thing that she could have done. Okay. All right. But I just wanted to show you where Daniel, again, lied. Lied like a rug. Oh, gosh, I almost exited on my live stream. Okay. Moving on here. Let's go to this. 1 second. Bear with me, y'all. The RCMP said on the end of May that they were focusing on where was it? Focusing on specific areas around Gairloch Road and the Nearline Pipeline Trail where a boot print was previously located. We continue to ask the public to avoid the search area to allow time for searchers to do the work. Daniel Martell, the children's stepfather, had previously told CBC News that 2 boot tracks were found near his home, as well as another nearby. The RCMP major crime units have been involved since the day after the children were reported missing. Martell said the disappearance has taken a toll on him and his family. Quote, every day when I wake up, it feels like I'm reliving a nightmare, said Martell in an interview Friday in Lansdowne Station. Okay. The feeling of sadness just turns to anger because there's no evidence after 1 month. That's all we have at this point, he said. That's the only goal I have is to bring Jack and Lily home. Well, freaking tell him, Daniel. Okay. Now, this is interesting. Parker from the RCMP said, quote, we haven't found even 1 iota, it appears, to what happened to Lily and Jack, little Lily and little Jack. It's hard to believe that many people look for this long, indicating search parties from all over the province. Look at this. All over the province, and the RCMP have been involved since day one. Lots of other looking and trying, but not 1 iota that I've heard of anyway as to a hint of where the 2 went. Martell said police had retrieved surveillance camera footage in New Glasgow that shows himself, the children's mother, Malaya, 1-year-old baby Meadow. I wonder if they could tell if Lily had a black eye that day. I wonder if they could tell. Oh, Wolfie, I never checked. I was having trouble earlier. I never checked. Let me. 1 second. What is this? Hold on 1 second. Is this an AI song? Wolfie? Is that an AI song? I missed about a metal box. It's not. Denise, Wolfie, Denise said, come to horizontal. The horizontal polka. Mike the man. Oh, gotcha. But is it an AI song? Hold on. Let me play it. Wolfie sent me this. 1 second. I don't want to show our message. 1 second.
tell you, honey, I am what you need. This is destiny. You belong with me. So come on, sugar, come and take my hand. You're the only one who can understand. Come to my trailer, we can live the dream. It's Danny M and my mom. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. Now, sugar honey, baby. Tell me what you wear before you go out. It will show you care. I get up again. Daddy, you're never gonna get.
Sorry, that's Daniel. Oh my God. It should have been, I wreck a car and I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I wreck my mom's car and get up again. I don't get it either. Is Justin frozen? Probably. Am I frozen? I wreck mom's car and get up again. Never gonna keep me down. I wreck dad's car and get up again. Never gonna get me down. Oh my God. I've never seen someone wreck so much in my life. I mean, seriously, 90-year-olds going to go get groceries with 2 cataracts, 2 bad legs, can't feel their feet, have that many wrecks. How do you do it, Daniel? Yes, bad hip, everything. Like cataracts have, look like they're seeing through Vaseline. You know what I mean? It's like I get knocked down, helicopters, but I get up again. Oh my God. Okay. I'm sorry, that's just funny. Oops, hold on, I'm getting some messages. When was this? Thank you for sending me that. Okay. All right, where was I? All right, I want to show you a little something that Daniel wrote. One second. Bear with me one second as I find it. Maybe. Sorry, guys. I had everything pulled up and then everything went kaput earlier. And now I've got to find it. Okay. Basically, at this point. Let me pull this up. Driving with the car tends to do it. I guess it's very bizarre to me. Oh, this is what I was going to do. Damn. Okay. 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 On this little report right here. All right. In this report, Janie said in this report right here, as you see either beside me or below me, whichever way. I currently hear Justin well. Okay. It says right here, remember on the dispatch where it talks about, they said the parents said that they went missing around 8 o'clock. Remember that? Put a 1-1 in the chat if you remember that. I think Timu has sell on shirts, Daniel. Joyous, Teresa. Hello, SVA. Okay, so all y'all remember. Okay. You remember that. Perfect. Well, in the documents, it says here that Janie says she got a call from her brother, Ron McKenzie, at 8:48, and they talked about going to town. After she was done talking to him, she went back to bed and must have dozed off after scrolling on Facebook, it says here. She, meaning Junkyard Janie, right? Junkyard Janie, right there. Right there. Said she originally said she might have learned the children were gone around 8:48 before she talked to Ron, but later clarified the timeline in her second statement. I bet you did clarify it in your second statement. But what I find is interesting is if you look at this, right? And again, in the dispatch, it says Jack and Lilly were gone around 8 o'clock. They last, right, saw them, or they went missing around 8 o'clock. Here it says 8:48. This is when she realized they were gone. But she clarified it in her second statement on a different date. So in my opinion, their story was Daniel, Malaya, Janie, that they went missing around 8 o'clock-ish. That was the original story, right? Until they realized, well, shit, the call didn't go until 10:01. What are we going to say? So I believe Janie and all of them clarified it in the second interviews. In the second interview. Oh, yeah, something's going on here. Right? No. It's AM. It's AM, Sassy. Correct, Gypsy. Bingo. Yep. Exactly. Her dog started barking, and that woke her up. She heard Lilly and Jack in the backyard playing on a swing and laughing then dozed off again. Isn't it interesting? They say every one of them describe Jack and Lilly as constantly laughing and playing. Constantly, right? Remember the night before Jack and Lilly were allegedly put to bed, they said that they were very hyper. And then that morning, Malaya says they woke Meadow up because they were being too loud in the bedroom, laughing and playing. Yep, that's exactly right, Zach. I was saying they're laughing and playing. Always. Then she dozed back off again. She woke up again when she heard Daniel yelling for Jack and Lilly. She didn't think anything of it because Jack liked to look for bugs and gets into things when he's doing that. So she thought Daniel might have been yelling for Jack for that reason. Again, there's a difference in how people yell, number one. But the whole thing about this, it's interesting because she says that her dog was barking. Where did she say that? Her dog started barking and woke her up. She heard Lilly and Jack in the backyard playing on the swing and then laughing, then dozed off again. Isn't it amazing how they just, they heard something and then they just dozed back off again? Do you know how many times a night you wake up and open your eyes, but you don't remember it? Do you know how many times that happens? A lot. You don't even remember it. We don't remember it. Right? But it's amazing how these people, you'll open your eyes and you'll might look around. You're not going to remember it. But Janie, right? She is dozing off. And then she wakes up. She just hears Jack and Lilly. Hears them. And then she just, dozes on off again. And then Daniel wakes her up. She's up enough to remember it. It's very convenient. It's very convenient. Where was it? She woke up again when she heard Daniel yelling for Jack and Lilly. She didn't think anything of it because Jack liked to look for bugs and gets into things when he's doing that. What can the kid get into in that cesspool yard? Could someone help me out here? What could he get into? There's only a certain amount of things you can roll over, and there's only a certain amount of bugs you can find. I think it's a conveniently made up story. And gets in things when he says that. So she thought Daniel might have been yelling for Jack for that reason. When she came outside after waking up, she saw Malaya standing on the rock pile. Okay. Could someone, what is the rock pile? That's what it says. Rock pile. Maybe a pile of shit they're making up. What did your boy Daniel do? Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point, Squid. There's not a lot of bugs out in May. There. Can anyone tell me something about Janie's dog? It's hairless. Was it a big dog? Her dog is not a big dog. She said the dog didn't like the noise from the kids. Was it an aggressive dog? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't see why that dog would mind Jack and Lilly whenever it has to live with Janie, who seriously smokes too much and is constantly yelling. The last time I had a pap smear, the doctor needed rubber gloves and an oyster shucker. Yeah, it's not a big dog. Yes, the dog has a smoker's cough. Wait, it's a hairless dog? Not intentionally hairless. She said a dog. Hold on. My dog is losing its fur over its stress. It's stressed out. I told the RCMP, you can't come in here. This is my dog's home. Okay? Yeah, there might be 2 kids missing of my son's girlfriend. But this is my dog's trailer. Okay? This is his home. And the only way I could let you in is if you have some dog treats and a couple packs of cigarettes. Ma'am, there is 2 children missing. You're either going to allow us in or I'm going to have to go get a search warrant. That's fine. Go get a search warrant. See if I can. I can throw out the shit before you get back. Right? What do you mean shit, ma'am? What do you mean shit? I meant dog shit. I'll throw out the dog shit before you get back. That's what I'll do. By shit, I didn't mean evidence. I didn't mean evidence. Okay? Sorry, officer. She says no search warrant. Belinda said yes, there was. I know that they were going to get a search warrant. I don't know. I had a mouth of peanut butter and crackers. Had. Tucka needs some Prozac. Listen, that dog needs to be decontaminated from all the chemicals that's on it. My God. This just in. Special Officer Doofy is looking for Daniel's balls. They are probably... I can't say it here. I don't think I have Special Officer Doofy anymore. I told you not. Yeah, I do. Hold on.
Hello? Hello? I said don't disturb you, I'm cleaning my room!
And there you have it, folks. There you have it. They are in Malia's purse. Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much. I said, don't disturb me when I'm cleaning my room. Okay. Here we go. Oh, crap. What'd I do? No. I wanted that back up. 1 second. Whoopsie daisy. Here we go. She woke up again when she heard Daniel yelling for Jack and Lilly. She didn't think anything of it because Jack liked to look for bugs. I could read that part. Daniel might have been yelling for Jack for that reason. When she came outside after waking up again, she saw Malaya standing on a pile of rocks holding Meadow. Malaya said Jack and Lilly were missing for about, and that was 20 minutes, and she had called 911. But I thought when Daniel came back down the hill, Daniel said she was on the phone with 911. Am I right? Or am I right? Let's check this. Yeah. 1 second. Let's see here. Let me just make sure. Let me see here 1 second. Bear with me. This up. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me see here. I know that fucking word is in there, so it's. Hold on 1 second. Okay, just remember that. I just want to see what Daniel says here to make sure we're on the same track, people.
Always wanted to know like what happened. Trying to.
You felt that from the beginning.
That at all. Might do drug tests because.
Was there any kind of party?
That unfolded in my favor.
So roughly right from the start.
Your shoes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It really questions like that.
Interviews.
Hours. So.
Say to you. You know what?
Just mysterious and.
It is. Why do you think this is getting? No.
Want to impede the investigation. The day before this appearance in the afternoon.
Where was that?
Yes, they do. I also talked to my coworker on days ahead of time or vehicles on the roads in the area, right? Maybe vehicles that were traveling that area a lot over the last few days prior to hand. You know what I mean? Making
hundreds of hours of video.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if they found anything on those videos?
Evidence to get footage.
How often are they in touch with you? And how has that changed over the course of the 6 years?
It's good. It's good and bad.
What does he say there?
I mean, I already gave them everything on my phone. A lot of speculation.
It's got to be the other one. 1 second. 1 second. this bothers me whenever I can't. It's the one with maybe Belinda and him. Oh, shit, a brick. He says it. You'll just have to take my word for it. There's an echo. Okay. Well, he says it. I promise you. You just have to take my word for it. He says, I run up to the kids because they have cabins. B-I-N. Nope. That's still not it. Kind of bothers me when I can't find this shit. Okay. That's what he says. I run up to the kids because they have cabins. And when I come back down, they are, or Malay is on the phone with 911. That's what he says. Okay. Now, here's this one. Anyone saw my question? I don't think Justin saw it. I did not. I do apologize. What was your question, my darling? She might have been texting while holding Meadow on a rock pile. Well, I would just like to know where the rock pile was. Do we have the audios of Malaya's 911 call? Nope. Nope. Sure don't. Mm-mm. I wish. Okay, now look at this. I feel yuck about all the clothes and blankets being talked about in case something is stinky. Maybe Janie was collecting rocks. I mean, I don't think she wants to stone her son or anything. Maybe she wanted to Malaya. Do we know why the 911 call has not been released? No. Okay. All right. So okay. Where did it go? Okay. Daniel Mattel. We woke up, didn't hear the kids proceed from bedroom to kitchen. I looked into the living room, no kids. I ran down to check under their beds, ran into the kitchen, got my shoes on, proceeded outside into the backyard, went around the fence. Was the fence up even during then? Because I'm getting ready to bust this whole thing up. Was the fence, if they had enough clothing for 6 weeks, why does Daniel not have any other shirts? Because Temu takes 6 months to deliver. Sections were missing. I don't think it was. There was like two sets of things up. Okay. I ran back. Okay. Proceeded outside into the backyard, went around the fence, she asked me if she should call 911. While she's calling 911, I ran up to the kids' cabins to check, and when I was screaming for the kids on my way back down, that's when Mom came out of the RV and confronted Malaya. Okay. Well, here, let me see here. In the other article, it says, let me see here what it says. Malaya said Jack and Lilly were missing for about 20 minutes and she had called 911. Janie got her coats on and then walked around looking for them. Absolutely, CJ. Absolutely. Asked me if she should call while calling 911. I ran up to the kids to check, the kids' cabins to check, and when I was screaming for the kids on my way back down, that's when Mom came out of the RV and confronted Malaya. That sounds like an argument. Malaya, what's up? Malaya turned around and said, the kids are missing. Mom said, how long? 20 minutes. So about 3 minutes to get outside. Listen to this. Then about 4 minutes to get to the cabins and circle down behind the RV. How does it go from 30 seconds to 4 minutes? And which cabins are we talking about, Daniel? Janie is, to her confronted statement. Yes, that's what it says. Look. Mom said how long? So about 3 minutes to get outside. Then about 4 minutes to get to the cabins and circle down behind the RV. But Mom confronted her when I was halfway back. Listen to his buffoonery. Yes. That's the interview that I was looking for, Brandy, but I couldn't find it. I woke up from sleep and yay, Justin. Sarah. 3 minutes, super meth style. He's super meth, not Superman. He's super meth. Super meth. Okay. Damn, 1 second. Okay. And circle back down there. What does this mean? But Mom confronted her when I was halfway back. Okay. With her 20 minutes, she said. We have a time around 9:35 to 9:45. After I got back from down from the cabins, the cabin should be up. Malaya was standing in the same position, holding Meadow. I ran into the house and did Lansdowne Road. I never seen the blanket in the tree, by the way. Going out to the railroad tracks, on that road, turning and going back down Lansdowne Station, following it back to 289, and finishing the trip by going up the trail beside the house. The right of the RV is facing into the driveway. Again, he wrote this very early on. The neighbors who saw Daniel's car that night had already said this. Exactly. Yes, me too, Brandy. That's what I'm talking about, those cabins. So again, he tells us exactly what he did. But the neighbor told us a lot sooner than Daniel did. And turn on the light. I think the night that they were gone, when Daniel went into the room to flick the light on, he did something to them. I think there was a fight that night. I think the kids were hyper and acting up, and I think he flipped the hell out. So Janie says she will search up out back because the kids couldn't have gotten far yet. Daniel had drove around the neighborhood already. Make any sense? Not me. Of course not. I'd go to Lansdowne Station Road and follow it back on 289 and finish the trip by going up the trail beside the house. Now, looky here. Daniel, how did you get on that trail? 1 second here. I think what's just a screenshot, Deborah? Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I know, but I mean, I thought about this, but like, there's a rock pile here, but like, first of all, look at Janie's posture and look at this woman's posture. She's like, you need Neanderthal. Please calm down, ma'am. Please. No wonder your heart's racing so quick, ma'am. You're angry. You're an angry pterodactyl. Good God. But you see those rocks behind him? But Janie's not going to be, or Malaya's not going to be standing on that rock, holding Meadow. Stop, you're killing me. I'm trying to focus. Justin, can we see a picture of the cabins or the forts there? Are they two different places? So they call the cabins, those little log trees up there, that they call those the cabins or the forts. But there is actual cabins at the camping site as well. Right. I don't know whether they're standing on rocks. Might stand on business, bitch, but not rocks. God. If you ever see something like this out in the wild, run like a mother fucker. I'm just telling you. This is the Nova Scotian Loch Ness Monster. With a New Jersey accent. And a raspy ass voice. And a hairless dog. Okay. On the other property, with the school and the shed as well, Justin. Mm-hmm. Is she trying to fight the reporter? No, she just learned those moves from her chickens fighting. Okay. Thank you, Linda. I meet Mom at the top of the hill when driving back. The road can only be accessed farther by ATV or four-wheel drive truck. On my way back, as I said, I met Mom and asked her if she was coming with me. She said, I'll search up here because they could have not went far. Okay. Daniel asked Janie if he was going to go, if she was going to go search with him. Okay. Now, but Daniel said this was his last stop. Right? He finished up by the road, and that's where he met his mother. Right? I'm comprehending that right? At 289 and finishing the trip, he put the trip, by the way, that's interesting, the trip, by going up the trail beside the house, right of the RV, if facing into the driveway. I meet Mom at the top of the hill when driving back. He says it's only accessed by ATV or four-wheel drive truck. On my way back, as I said, I met Mom and asked her if she's coming with me. You were finished. Thank you, Brandy. Finished the trip, yes. Yeah, he finished the trip. Most people would say search, looking. Yes, it is often. She said, I'm searching up here because they could not have went far. I returned to the house. And when I got back, the RCMP were walking down the driveway to see Malaya. It took RCMP 12 minutes to arrive on site. Okay. Yes, lovely house, exactly. Yes, Linda. But this is the thing. This means Daniel had to be home before Janie, right? Mom, are you coming with me? No, I'm going to stay up here and look. All right, I'm going home. What kind of sense does that make? Seriously, what kind of sense does that make? If Daniel had looked everywhere, think about it. In that 10 or 12 minutes. It was really 27 minutes, yeah. But he says, I've looked here, I've looked there, I've looked everywhere. And Janie says, or Daniel goes up there and he says, Mom, you coming with me? No, I'm going to look up here. She says, okay, I'm going home. He says, he's going home. So he says he goes home. And that's when RCMP is there. But he just lets his mother stay up there and look by herself. But what does Janie say after she searches that area in her interview? Yeah. I'm going to come back to that part in a second. RCMP were parked in the driveway. So I parked next to the marsh in a little driveway area next to the house on the left. Looking in facing the driveway. I jumped out of the SUV, then proceed toward the woods, but officers yelled at me not to enter the woods. This is not exactly what he said on DT's channel. I walked back to the house and was further told not to enter the woods. I was beyond frustrated. I wasn't allowed to search until the officer, dressed in military gear, gave me the green light to re-enter the woods. He said, "Go for it." I still remember it said Oliver on the back of his vest. It's amazing he remembers the guy's name is Oliver, but he can't remember the night before. He ran 500 feet to cabins. Closest neighbor, remember? They tried to say Justin neighbor was camping there at one point as well. They know, but casting blame on others. Vaguely, Brandy. They tried to say Justin neighbor was camping at one point as well. Yes. They couldn't have gone far, so let me just jump in the car and drive, down the fucking road. Yeah, let's get right on that. Sarah Jane, thank you, Justin, for all you do. Let's hit the go, y'all. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you very, very, very much, my lovey doveys, little turtle doveys. Thank you so much, sweetsies. Daniel knew they wasn't in the woods because it wasn't where he put them. He's 100% the dogs wouldn't find anything. How you doing? He was staying there. So DM got back. Seen RCMP walking towards... Hold on. So DM got back. Seen RCMP walking towards MB and started to go into the woods instead of going to speak with them. That's what he says here. It's not what he says elsewhere, though. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Hold on. I might have that, actually. Let me see if I got that. Category, video. Category, meth mouth. Daniel.com.
Door shut.
Yeah.
So
is the door heavy?
1 second, guys.
And usually you would have to wait a couple you know what I mean, or like 30 seconds or something like that, because it could be in the fridge, because that's usually what everything goes quiet when they're grabbing food or
Everything goes quiet when they're grabbing food. Oh, right here it is, maybe. Okay. All right, listen.
Lily popped her head in, right? So you were
yes, I did, because there's a lock on the door, right? Yeah. And I heard like the lock rattle.
So
you're lying through your ass.
And walk to the kitchen, right?
Right. Lizard lips.
Well, I stood in the kitchen when I was running like a moron through the house looking for the kids.
She stood in the kitchen while you was running like a moron looking for your stepkids. You're the first person I've ever heard said looking like a running like a moron.
Home or not, right? Because I thought you might have went with my Uncle Ron.
Mm-hmm.
So she's on the phone with 911. I run up into the woods where the...
Okay. Fuck. I just had it.
Should I call 911?
There it was. 1 second.
And we made our way outside. We got through the fence, and then we're standing right in front of Mom's RV. And she asked me, "Should I call 911?" Right? That's kind of instinctual.
But didn't he just wait a second? Didn't he just say that Malaya was on the phone with 911? Malaya said Jack and Lily were missing for about 20 minutes and she had called 911. Janie got her coats and boots and walked around looking for them. There was that one. Okay. I proceed to go outside into the backyard, went around the fence. She asked me if she should call 911. While she's calling 911, I ran up to the cabins to check. And when I was screaming for the kids on the way back down, that's when Mom came out of the RV and confronted Malaya. Right. Thank you, Mick Mac. Sorry, haven't been around a lot lately. Been real busy with work, but happy holidays, everyone. Thank you, Mickey Mac. Appreciate you, babies. Good to see you, my dear. Thank you so much. Hope you had a good holidays. You're not working too
You
hard.
want to do that, right?
Right.
Right? That's,
Yeah.
kind of instinctual. You want to do that, right?
Right.
Because we don't hear them out in the yard. We never seen them in the house. We don't see them in the backyard. I didn't know if Mom was even home or not, right? Because I thought she might have went with my Uncle Ron.
Yeah, you don't know in case you fucking knock or call, dingbat. God, might knock on the door. Don't know if she's home. How about
My Uncle
that?
Ron. So she's on the phone with 911. I run up into the woods where the cabins are and look in the cabins, look around the area. Didn't see them. I'm screaming and yelling, Lilly and Jack, Lilly and Jack, Lilly and Jack. And then I make my way down. There's a hill behind Mom's RV. I make my way down. And Malaya's standing there. I'm not sure if she's still on the phone with 911. She might have been on speakerphone.
Hold on, guys. I gotta reset. My thingy went. I'll be right back. Oh, let me see. Sorry about that, children. Okay. Digest about 6. Timu time faster than a UFO.
Looks like she was messaging, but she might have been on speakerphone with that.
Listen to that.
It looks like she was there. I'm not sure if she's still on the phone with 911. She might have been on speakerphone. It looks like she was messaging.
Don't know if she was on 911. Might have been on speakerphone, but it looked like she was messaging. Three different things there. Now, I don't see most people being on speakerphone with 911. That's just me. But if she's messaging, is it my audio? Sorry. Yes, it is. 1 second. I am so sorry about that. You can probably hear me better now.
But she might have been on speakerphone with that, with the, the dispatch. And so I say, I'm jumping in the car. So I ran inside. I tried to go into the front door. Door's locked. Ran through the back door, the back sliding door, got into the house, grabbed the keys off the end table. Because there was 2 sets of keys, right? And then
yeah, there's 2 sets of keys. Oh, fuck, there's an echo. Sorry, guys. Oh. It's too much. Thank you so much, nerdy girl. How you been, Pam? Thank you for all you do, Justin. Don't forget to tap that. I'm honored, nerdy. Love to all. Truth and justice for Jack and Lily. Amen. Love you, darling. Appreciate that very, very much. 6 months coming in clutch.
she's on the phone with 911. I run up into the woods where the cabins are and look in the cabins, look around the area. Didn't see them. I'm screaming and yelling, Lilly and Jack, Lilly and Jack, Lilly and Jack. And then I make my way down. There's a hill behind Mom's RV. I make my way down. and Malaya's standing there. I'm not sure if she's still on the phone with 911. She might have been on speakerphone. Kind of looks like she was messaging, but she might have been on speakerphone with the dispatch. And so I say, I'm jumping in the car. So I ran inside. I tried to go into the front door. Door's locked. Ran through the back door, the back sliding door, got into the house, grabbed the keys off the end table, because there was 2 sets of keys, right? And then I didn't take my phone. Well,
Because there's 2 sets of keys, right? I mean, of course there's 2. I mean, what if there was 3 sets of keys, Daniel? Because there's, 3 sets of keys, like nobody gives a fuck. Right, Daniel? And it's like 4 wheels, right? 1 engine. Malia's car. He initially was in back by RV. She asked to call 911. He said to wait. Very good point. But where did he say that, Brandy? I remember him saying that. He said, wait to call 911. I think it was in an article. I'm jumping in the car. Yep, he does fumble. Yes. Why wouldn't you take your phone? Exactly. Why wouldn't you take your phone? Why didn't Junkyard Janie take her phone? She is a feeble dog owner. Right? What if her dog needs to get a hold of her? Brandy, I do all the time because I catch things all the time. And it's just it's amazing how you can listen to something 1,000 times and then 2 years later hear something brand new. That's exactly how a lot of cases get solved, cold cases. Police are stumped and they go back years later and they'll hear something and they're like, oh my God, I didn't hear that before. I never heard it like that before. You have to be listening the right way that day. You just have to are in the right frame of mind.
I don't remember taking my phone because there's no service out there anyway. Not like I can use it. So I left my phone on the end table. I'm pretty sure I left it on the end table.
You can tell he's nervous about that phone, right? I'm not sure if I did. Oh, police would know if I left it. I left it on the end table. I'm pretty sure I left it on the end table. Right.
Investigators would know that for 100%. So grab my keys, grab my key, or grab.
You hear that? Grabbed my keys, grabbed my keys twice. Said it twice. Grabbed my keys, grabbed my keys, grabbed the keys. You little nefarious thing, you. Jan, thank you so much. 20 months? You love me. You really, really love me. Thank you so much, Jan. That is so sweet, my dear. Appreciate that so very much. You'll give it up for Jan. Thank you, Jan Gilbert. Appreciate you, my dear. Hopefully you and yours had a beautiful holiday and an amazing 2026 coming up. Girl, can you believe it? It is 12:29 here. I have been on here for 1 year straight. Not 1 year. What was I going to say? Or 1 day straight. Because I came on an hour and a half ago, but it wasn't midnight yet. So I've been on here full day. 2 different dates.
The keys, ran up to the Nissan Pathfinder, grabbed my end table. So I left my phone on the end table. I'm pretty sure I left it on the end table. Investigators would know that for 100%. So grab my keys, grab the keys, ran up to the Nissan Pathfinder, and that's when I started to search the dirt roads and the culverts, right? So I went up Lansdowne Road and ran up to the Nissan Pathfinder. So grab the keys.
Hey, Slips. Grab my keys, or grab the keys. Sorry. I got to get that 4 tires, 4-cylinder, 4 windows, 1 motor, white, 4 spark plugs, Malaya's car.
Ran up to the Nissan Pathfinder, and that's when I started to search the dirt roads and the culverts, right? So I went up Lansdowne Road, and I already told investigators this, but that blanket was not there in that tree.
Which dirt?
I think, in my opinion, this is my opinion. I think that night, after whatever is done to Jack and Lilly, he went down over past the railroad tracks and all that, and then it stopped for a couple minutes. I think, in my opinion, a blanket may have been placed there then. And then the car fires back up, and then it goes back over the railroad tracks down toward 289.
Direction were you
That would be when I'm coming out the end of the driveway, and I'm going right toward Lansdowne Road, over the tracks, and then hanging a hard right.
So you were coming the direction that would have been visible to you, and you didn't see.
Yep, he goes down. Now, why is he going down? I don't know. The place where his dad is, and his uncle is, and the blanket is found, and the shoe prints are found. Mm-hmm.
It.
Yeah, I'd be going. Right at the end of the driveway. I take a right. I'm going up the road.
Across the railroad tracks, and then right up of the dirt road.
Yeah, that's Lansdowne Road where the blanket was found.
All right. So when you're running around and as you're going outside and you're looking, that gate outside, is it always open? Was it unlocked? Was it locked?
Sometimes it's open.
Was it open that morning?
I do not remember that. I don't remember if the
gate's open or not, but he remembers a stranger's name on the back of his vest or his military uniform that said he could go back in the woods. Got it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay. And so you come around.
It's not hard. It's not hard to open up gates anyway. They're just slide. Like, I always forget to close. My mom always reminds me, but they're just a slide and bolt lock, right?
Oh, I gotta show y'all something.
I mean, there's nothing hard about those locks at all.
Let me find it. 1 second.
Well, maybe not, but I'm just kind of curious because if you can unlock it and open it, but if you're on the other side of the fence and you're small, can you reclose it?
Yeah, you can. You can. All you do is just pull the fence close to you and then close it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so it may not be a clue there. So you're out there searching in the woods. How long before law enforcement arrived?
I was told 12 minutes.
Okay.
But then when I looked at the documentation and, asked questions and dug further, it was 22 minutes, I do believe.
And were you at the house when they arrived?
I was actually when they were arriving, I was actually coming back to the house in the car, and I couldn't park in the driveway because RCMP just stopped in the yard, right?
Okay.
Because they were just starting to walk down and talk to Malaya. So what I did is I parked the white Nissan Pathfinder.
You fucked
That's
up
the car
right
Malaya
there.
owns, the 2017 Nissan white Pathfinder.
Wipe up a bed.
And I parked over on the right hand side of the marsh, going toward Lansdowne Road. There's a marsh that's right beside the house there. Probably can pull that up on the map. There's a little driveway that's right beside it. It's about 100 feet from the house.
Okay. Go around here?
Yeah, that's actually the marsh. And there's a little driveway right on the left hand side right there. Yep. That's where I parked in the white Nissan Pathfinder.
Okay.
And then when I jumped out of the car, the RCMP yelled at me from in the yard, right? Because they could see me clearly.
Yeah.
And they said, Daniel, don't go back into the woods. So at that point, I didn't go back into the woods. I walked over to the house and I went down and I was talking to my mother because the RCMP just, officers just sworn Malaya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they asked you to stay there. They asked her to stay there. Did they look into your Pathfinder?
No, but they didn't look into your Pathfinder. Look at this. This is where the cabins are. This is the cabins in church, right? Here is where Daniel parked his vehicle, right? He says. And here's the home. Up here is the kids' cabins. Use that term very loosely. It's like stacks of wood. But here is the church and the cabins right here. Were we talking about those, Daniel? Because that seems like it would take more like 4 minutes. Because this, you said, took 30 seconds. These cabins and this church right here, right? That there's my number, darling. What the hell's with YouTube? I don't know. So that would be more like it if you ask me. Because Daniel, and remember the neighbors more importantly, first said Daniel went down through here, went over the railroad tracks, and then stopped somewhere 4 to 5 a.m. He was idle for a couple minutes or so. Vroom, 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 vroom. Turns around with his loud car. And Daniel says he goes back this way. And then he says he goes back up here. And this is where he meets Junkyard Janie. Because remember, Janie says she searches all of this area in 10 minutes. Yes. This is like 0.4 miles. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. Janie. Okay. This was the staging 2 area. This is where Brad is. And Brad's burn pit. Right here where he burns his shit and all of that. Not a chance. What did Jamie say? Oh no, I'm sorry, Marcy. RCMP may be waiting to search again in the spring, but winter is good. Animal tracks are better seen. They said, oh, thank you for reminding me, Lynn. Let me find it here. Okay, so speaking of that blanket, correct? Look at this. This is from Cheryl. I'm not worried about Logan. May 2nd was the very first day I met her, and I knew all I needed to know about her, to be honest. They are very aggressive people. I can only tell you what I told. They used the blanket to cover a hole in the window that was letting out cold air. The blanket was torn at what looked the bottom, and the piece of it was torn. Also found in the tree was hanging over a railing. Malaya's friend and family had no idea where she lived until May 2nd. We saw the posting about Lilly and Jack missing. We drove over to help, but in all honesty, we thought they would have been found by the time we got there, since we live about 45 minutes away from that area. We didn't even know that the blanket existed, let alone that Malaya put it in the garbage after it wasn't being used for the window any longer. All I can tell you is that it was found laying across a tree on the left-hand side at the beginning of an ATV trail. We had Malaya's car towed the next day and brought to her mother's. I left the car where the officers told me to park it, so they were not pissed off like Daniel claims. It was left where it was told to be left. How far would you get riding on handlebars on a four-wheeler? Well, where the wind blows. I mean, some may say not very far, but let's just say I've used handlebars a time or two. No, not very far. Not very far. I just don't understand why the RCMP just don't get the... Police should have cornered off all of that. You sent me a text. Okay. Sarah, you're so freaking funny. More lies by Daniel. Not if you've trained well, Misty. Not if you've trained well. They threw the blanket along Thursday night or Friday morning. They did sometimes. Connie, it's amazing to me that they don't see a lot of this. Like, it's just crazy to me. Um, Daniel said these culverts for a reason. Remember how I talked about how Daniel said the keys for a reason, and I couldn't figure it out. Why the keys? Why the keys? Why did he say 2 sets of keys? You don't just say 2 sets of keys unless they always... Yeah, I've been thinking about it, Patriot. I need to get a hold of him. They always say something for a reason. It's either to get ahead of something or for something to make sense for investigators or something like that. And just like Daniel said, the 2 sets of keys, and then he said the car, and then I mean the white car, Malaya's 2017 Nissan Pathfinder. He says these culverts for a reason. He says I waded into water up to my waist for a reason. And it's just figuring out why. And that's a big one, because I believe, in my opinion, the kids are going to be close. Yeah, Dolphin, I mean, to me, it's not even, about like the money for the reward or anything. I just get my reward in heaven, my little crown, maybe. There was another trash item that double bagged. Yeah. Do we know if they took Daniel wet clothes from the search evidence? Nobody's seen Daniel wet. Nobody's seen Daniel wet. I always thought that the children got into Daniel's math thinking it was candy. I don't think that anymore. I don't. Oh yeah, SD, absolutely. Daniel was not wet. I want to make a joke so bad, but that would be very inappropriate. Okay. All right, guys, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm exhausted. And I still have to do work. Oh my God. I have to do work for tomorrow's lives. Okay. I gotta get my internet figured out. It always bothered me that they used one of Lily's blankets for the window instead of one of their own. Let me tell you something. Malaya says she throwed, and that's in the documents too. Also, Cheryl says Malaya. Look here. It's not illegal for him. It's not illegal to lie to the media. It gives him something to do, meaning Daniel. Daniel says he threw it away. Janie says, I saw Daniel throw it away because I told him not to put too much in the trash bags because Mom's always getting after me. You know, it's because she's such a neat freak. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, guys. It's going to be we got a lot to do tomorrow, guys. A lot to do tomorrow. A documentation where MBM says they took it down. They took what down? Reread, please. Brandy, can you text me or email me? Night gypsy. She said blanket just. I'm so tired my eyes are crossed. No, they're probably going straight. They're probably usually crossed. What did she say? Blanket. I said a pink blanket. I hate when he does that. It's so fake. It's so artificial. So to say soldier. A pink blanket. I said a pink blanket. And I immediately put 2 and 2 together and added 5. I look tired. That means I need to get some Botox or something. I should never look tired. I should always look snatched. He's so ridiculous. Okay. I get stupider when I get tired. Thank you. Guys, when it comes to Camilla, almost I could go live at any minute. You never know. I'm getting information in right now from people that are sending me information, locals and all that. Hopefully she's going to be found or something soon. I've really got to dig on that tonight. That's going to be something. Me too, Dolphin. It's a crazy case. I'm telling you, that is not her standing there. That is not her. And I mean, this is the thing. This is the thing that gets me with law enforcement. They said that was her standing there. Confirmed. That's a man. Like, if I was 80% sure that was a man, I would say, guys, we don't know. That's a dude. That's a man. Right? Oh, it is mine too, Gypsy, as well. That's a man. And like, that makes me really upset for, I think, of cases like Jack and Lily's and Sebastian's and stuff. And I'm like, are they lying to us intentionally? Is it evolving? Or they lied to themselves? Like, are they that? Like, I really believe they should, and they're starting to do it now, law enforcement, because they're overloaded, but they're starting to give like cold cases to like colleges and web sleuths and stuff like that, because like it's like a passion for a lot of us just to find them, right? Just to find answers. Because you guys know me, like some cases I'll do court trials and stuff on, but I like the mystery part of it. I like putting the pieces together myself. Once we got the answers, I'm kind of like, okay, let's help somebody else. Some creators just go, they do it like they're not really interested in what I am. They're just interested in like the court thing or whatever. And I'm some cases like Michael Vaughn, I'll be there. Summer Wells, I'll be there. Of course, Jack and Lilly, Sebastian, those. But what's Sassy say? They must think we're stupid. I mean, that's a dude, man. Oh, thank you, Blueberry. Thank you, honey. Come out and talk more often. We love having you. Right, I like figure out mentally behavior. Yeah, me too. I like to fit the pieces together. I like to bust them on their lies and stuff like that. Just me though. No, not giving up. All right, guys. God bless. Good night. Justice for Jack and Lilly Sullivan. Daniel Malaya. Say something. Tell where these babies are at. They're out there. And y'all know where they're at, in my opinion. Good night.